like to call to order the Wilson County Commission meeting of April 17, 2023. Welcome all of our guests that are here tonight and encourage you to come back at any opportunity that you can have to be with us. Commissioner Bernard has a prayer and a pledge for tonight. And Aaron, I don't think nobody can hear me, according to Mr. Murphy. So if you could help me. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bernard.
Good evening. I'd like to invite Aaron Tomlinson up to say the prayer tonight. He is a assistant principal at Byers Dowdy and a deacon at Emmanuel Baptist Church, and he's going to lead us in prayer.
Please rise.
Would you bow with me, please? Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this day, this beautiful day that you've given to us. We thank you for this evening where we can come together as leaders of this great county and this great state and talk about the issues that we face and talk about the things that this county faces each day. Dear God, I thank you for each one of these people and how they've been elected to represent, and I pray that they will do just that they will represent their people and their constituents well, and that they will do so with you in the forefront, dear God. And I know that lines can get blurred and things can get fuzzy, dear God, but when we look at you, all those things become clear. And I just pray for them as we move into this meeting tonight. I pray for this county. I pray for its leadership. I pray for the mayor. I pray for our law enforcement officers. I pray for our schools. Dear God, not too far from here today, a lot of boys and girls went back to school for the first time since hearing gunshots ring out in their hallways. And I lift them up to you today as they move forward. I lift us up today as we move forward as educators and people of this community, trying to do the best that we can to serve our children and their families. Dear God, bless us tonight. Bless this meeting. May it be productive and may it glorify you. It's through your Son, Jesus' name, that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Now join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Coach. If you will, press yes on the panel to record your presence at tonight's meeting. Commissioner Hobbs and Commissioner Kurtz and Commissioner Dow are absent tonight and they call it in. (22-3) absent. This time, report from Steering Committee. Commissioner Fields.
Steering Committee of the County Commission of Wilson County, Tennessee met in regular session on Thursday, April the 6th, 2023 in the upstairs conference room at the Wilson County Courthouse. Each one has a copy of those minutes. I've moved that they be received and filed.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Adoption of the agenda. Commissioner Fields.
Mr. Chairman, I've moved that we adopt the current agenda as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And consent agenda, Mr. Fields.
Mr. Chairman, each person has a consent agenda. I move that it be accepted and filed.
Got a motion and a second. Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Concerning IT and the Health Department line item transfer. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 22-3, resolution passes. This time I'd like to ask Commissioner Glover to come forth with special recognition for tonight.
Got my tiptoes here.
Before we get started, a good little fact is that his aunt was married to my uncle. So as I said a minute ago, that we're pretty much cousins. So when he gets to the NBA, you're going to give me some pretty good tickets. Jared Hall is a senior, attended Lebanon High School. During his high school career, Jared has excelled both academically and athletically. Jared has had an impressive basketball resume as a Lebanon Blue Devil, especially over the last 2 years. And Jared has been named 3-time All-District 9-3A, 9-4A, 3-time All-District Tournament. And whereas in 2022, Jared was named District Tournament MVP, Region 5 4A Tournament MVP, All-State Tournament Team, and Tennessee Sports Writers Association All-State Team. And he was also named 2023 McDonald's All-American nominee, Basketball Coaches Association of Tennessee Seniors All-Star District MVP, Region 5 4A All-Tournament, and Jared has also earned the title Class 4A Mr. Basketball, becoming the first winner in Lebanon High School in Wilson County's history in the past 38 years' history of the award. Jared also holds the record as Lebanon High School's all-time leading scorer with 1,794 career points. And Jared will be on the 2023 Tennessee Sports Writers Association All-State team and will sign on with the University of Tulsa, where he's already signed on with them. He's going to be going to there, you say in June? In June, he's heading there to start practicing and getting ready for his first season. So therefore, be it resolved by the County Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that we hereby honor Lebanon High School Blue Devil Jared Hall.
Motion to approve. All in favor say aye.
And we're going to get the mayor's office to get one for the coach and stuff down in Lebanon so they can post it there. We're proud of you, Jared. Very proud of you. Let's see.
I'm just gonna take a picture with him and the mayor.
Come on down. Let the mayor get in front of the middle.
Somebody get him a stool.
Turn the podium on that.
Take her picture, Dad, so she can get it.
Hey, you can take your
Thank you.
I'll take your picture. Mayor, take your picture.
One more picture.
Oh, that's even better.
Hey.
Like he's
I'll bring you a picture, Ron. I'll get a copy. Thank you.
maybe she was close to my phone.
Commissioner Dow wanted to be here tonight, but he had to be with his son, but he also says congratulations as well. This time, I would like to introduce Commissioner Lauren Breeze to come forward.
Aggressive animal control will come up. Come on, Wiggle. Animal control has been blessed the last year by Gretchen Wilson, who has donated quite a bit of money to our department for our dogs and cats. So, as a thank you, hi. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, honoring country music singer Gretchen Wilson for her numerous donations to Wilson County Animal Control. Whereas Gretchen Wilson, known for her country music career, has made multiple generous donations to Wilson County Animal Control, and whereas Miss Wilson originally called Animal Control to assist with dogs in her area, and whereas after Wilson County's Animal Control's help, Ms. Wilson wanted to come in and talk about ways she could help when the shelter is overcrowded. And whereas in March of 2022, Ms. Wilson came in and toured the facility and talked with Director Mary Scruggs about the hopes of one day building a bigger facility. And whereas after spending time at the facility, Ms. Wilson asked to make a generous donation in the amount of $5,000 to go toward dog food, medical supplies, or needs. And whereas in addition to that donation, Ms. Wilson advised that she would be calling her booking agent in hopes he would also make a donation, which he did. Whereas Ms. Wilson advised that she would like to continue to donate as she holds concerts. And since her initial donation, Ms. Wilson has donated an additional $5,500 herself and the additional $1,000 by her booking agent in her honor. And whereas the Wilson County Animal Control appropriately named the donation fund the Gretchen Wilson Saves a Life Fund. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that we hereby honor country music singer Gretchen Wilson for her generous and continuous donations and her support of Wilson County Animal Control.
Move to approve.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I know you've donated over $9,000 because of your love of dogs, so thank you so very much. We would love to. Would you like to speak?
I certainly, thank you. I didn't do it because of wanting any kind of recognition or anything. I just, I'm a faithful follower of our Lord, but I don't belong to any particular church, and so I kind of just do my tithing with Mary in hopes that we don't have to put any more animals down. So, but thank you very much for that.
We do not have a public hearing for tonight. We did have some property that was submitted by Keith Neal requesting to rezone the property that was pulled by the applicant and will be pushed back to next May for that. So we do not have that. Report from the Minutes Committee, Commissioner Fields.
Mr. Chairman, the Minutes Committee of the County Commission of Wilson County, Tennessee met in regular session on Thursday, April 6, 2023 in the upstairs conference room at the Wilson County Courthouse. Each person has a copy of those minutes. I move that they be received and filed.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion from anybody? Commissioner Denton?
I don't know that this matters, but on every one of the Thursday night committee meetings, my attendance was left off of each one of those, except the one committee that I'm on that meets that night. So I don't know where that, doesn't matter to me where it's on there or not, but I know where it needs to be official.
We'll get that corrected.
Okay.
Okay. That was all the Thursday night meetings.
Everyone, yes, sir.
Okay. Any other corrections? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Reading of the minutes?
Make a motion to dispense with reading of the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. I do want to address a couple of things here tonight, if I can, real quick. One, there was some conversation that Pastor brought to me last month about what the fair gives back to that. I did the legwork on that along with the people in our office. And when I send that out to you, just know that anytime you ask me to do some work, I'm going to do that for you, okay? At the same time, it's not a rebuttal to Pastor Denton or anybody else if it proves it right or proves it wrong. That's not my intention at all. My intention is just to do the legwork for you as anytime you ask me to do something. So I want to be sure we understood that and apologize to Pastor Denton if he took it in any way like that. That was not the intention. It's just when you bring up questions, and I just go and do the legwork research for you and then get the information back to you. So, Pastor. I will say this, I do have some Mountain Jewett Senior Citizens reverse drawing tickets that are here for Saturday, April the 22nd. I happen to be on the board, and I'll be glad to sell some of those to you if you'd like some afterwards. I would also say that R.J. Corman sponsors the train to take runners down this Saturday to the Music City Marathon. So if you know anyone that you could help publicize this with, that would be good. All proceeds go to St. Jude Hospital, so that is a good cause. You remember not long ago you adopted the Wilson County license plate. It actually passed and got everything taken care of this month by the legislature, so thanks to Senator Pody, Representative Boyd, and Representative Lynn. I did have a company that bought a lot of these, some for law enforcement and public safety, but I have a few left over that if you would like a specialty plate. If you'd see me, we could guarantee your first specialty plate would be free. Then after that, the next year you would renew it. Again, that $35 goes to Wilson Rides, which takes care of that organization, so that is a good cause. Upon your recommendation of the board, I'm reappointing Mr. William Offhosler to the LaGuardia Utility Board District. If you remember, we just put him on there as an interim because someone had passed away. So now he's coming back up for a full term. This action was taken to fill the vacancy, but it expired in May the 2nd of 2023. And so this term now will go from May the 2nd, 2023 to May 2nd, 2027. There is no really action for you to do. I just need to read that into the minutes to let you know that. And I think that takes care of everything that I was going to ask you tonight. Mr. Goodall, I got a notary list. Anybody need to be added to that list? We're good to go. Have a motion to approve the notary list?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. You are to confirm my appointment of a one-year member to the six-year term of the Solid Waste Regional Planning Board. Upon your confirmation, I would like to appoint Mr. Chris Richardson. Information is about him in your packet. Remember, he is a part of our planning codes department, and so by position is how we get him in there. Do I hear a motion for that?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Report from the Emergency Management Committee, Commissioner Bernard.
No report.
And at this time, Emergency Management Director's report will be Chief Brian Newberry. Director Cooper is at a conference tonight.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, as well as Commissioner Hobbs at the same conference. So both of those extend that for them. So they're trying to learn something, I guess, or teach somebody something. I don't know which. In your packet, you've got the report of the call volume and some of the activities. Is we did host Leadership Wilson, as some other agencies did across the county. So always great to interact with that team, as well as getting the budget together. Some of the status currently where we're at, we have or had 12 paramedic positions currently open, and we just lost another one to Nashville Fire Department this last week. So obviously that'll make 13. We still have the new hire class that's going through right now. There's 17 of those. We're still at 17, so they started last August. As you well know, went through Fire Academy and now through the advanced EMT, so that's hitting them pretty hard. It's a pretty tough class for 15 weeks. But they're planning on wrapping that up about mid-May, so hopefully all those will successfully complete that, get their AMT license, and we can get those slots filled as well. So that concludes the report, unless you guys and gals have any questions.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Chief Newberry. Report from the Law Enforcement Committee, Commissioner Bernard.
The Law Enforcement and Planning and Zoning met on, we had a joint meeting on Thursday, March 23rd at 5 o'clock up here at the courthouse. I make a motion the minutes be received and filed.
We got a motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Sheriff's report, Sheriff Bryan.
Thank you, Mayor, County Commissioners. Your report's in your packet. Pretty much all the numbers are a little elevated this month from last month. They'll continue to rise throughout the summer, I would say. Activities, the work buses continue to do all they can. I know there's a lot to be done, but again, we're finding we pick up a road today and within a week it's trashed again. So we'll continue to do that. I want to look at one thing on this report. School resource officers. Perimeter checks, about halfway down, 1,900, 40-something perimeter checks. A month ago, last month, something bad happened in this state, and shouldn't have happened. And I just want to stand here tonight and thank this body and previous bodies who stood up. And we're not having to deal with a lot of things these other counties are dealing with right now. We've got SROs in every school. In saying that, we're going to continue to see how we're doing it right. We're going to continue. We want to see how we can improve. You can always improve. Last week, Director Luttrell, Mount Juliet Police, Watertown, Lebanon Police, us, Mount Juliet Fire and Ambulance, Lebanon Special School District sat together in one room. Ladies and gentlemen, that's never happened. Never happened. And we talked, and we're trying to figure out how we can do things better. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to communicate a lot better than we did, and that's important. But this county's stood up. I want to thank y'all again for that. But we're going to continue to protect our kids. We're going to protect our teachers and staff, and pray to God nothing like that never happens again. Because there's some innocent babies that's not here no more. And they should, and the ones that's having to go, I heard a while ago, they're going back to school this week, tomorrow I believe it is. How? And just keep all our kids in their thoughts and prayers. That concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Motion approved.
Any discussion? Commissioner Breeze?
Sheriff Bryan, in the PDF packet, we don't have the sheriff's
It should be on
report.
should be on your desk, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
The holiday sort of threw us off a day.
Gotcha, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I don't-
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Sheriff
Thank you.
Bryan. Report from the Education Committee, Commissioner Marlowe.
Education Committee met regular session Thursday, April the 6th. Minutes are in your packet. Move they be received and filed.
I got a motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. And opposed? Director of Schools report, Mr. Jeff Luttrell.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. You also have my report in your packet. Just to hit on a couple of highlights. We did include a report from our board meeting. I do want to point out, made a special recognition among some others, but I do want to spend some time. The board recognized and presented an item to Miss Peggy Simpson for her many devoted years and countless hours she's given to Wilson Bergstrom Birth. And if you see Miss Simpson, thank her. I understand she's given that program up and been doing it for years. And my understanding, a lot of time, she did all the legwork. Getting those books out, fundraising, Chamber of Commerce helping her, but it was a special moment for someone who's given a lot of hours and just a lot of dedication to Wilson County, so we do want to recognize her. Also at our board meeting, Sheriff Bryan and Lieutenant Hank Miller with the SRO Division came, presented, talked, opened up for questions, and I will just echo Sheriff Bryan has said. There's no words to describe, so I won't attempt what that Covenant school family went through. It's happened too many times in the back half of my career. You know, when I started, we never thought about that. And the reality now is we think about it every day. Every day. You pray about it every day on your way to work. We're fortunate, though, some steps have been taken in this county by this body, those who sit here before you. And we just got to continue that. We are looking for ways to improve. The meeting we had this past week I thought was very beneficial. It allowed us to sit down in a room and just talk, and to talk real about scenarios and what it would look like and how can we prevent it. We're going to continue that on a regular basis. I think that's important moving forward. We've got to stay on top of this. There's some other things coming down the pike that we'll be looking at. We're already looking at things that we can do to even make our schools safer. You know, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I think we're in great shape. But the facts of this world is the evil we're seeing. We've got to be prepared. We've got to stay on top of. We can't just say it's not going to happen. If it can happen where it happened this past month, it can happen in Israel. And that's the hard truth reality. But we've got to do everything we can. One of the things that we've done, just in reference, is we're going back through our drills again. We do those on a regular basis. We've always done those. But we've scheduled recent drills, and we're announcing that as drills, not to alarm anyone. And we're evaluating, and we're picking up even more information. It has to be muscle memory what to do if one of these crisis events takes place. But thanks, Sheriff, Mount Juke PD, Lebanon PD, Watertown PD. This last week, I thought we had a great opportunity to come together, and I think the feeling of that meeting was we're going to do whatever we can to protect our kids. And that is important and will remain important going forward. One other thing I do want to announce, also, me and Sheriff Bryant's met a lot in the past month, seems like. We met with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. We're going to bring the DARE program back through our SROs. The 5th grade class starting next year will be training this summer. They've revamped that program. It's more than just the old DARE program we know when it was just war on drugs. But we've got kids that are seeing a lot, and we've got to give them some resources. I'm very impressed with that program, so our SROs will be, Sheriff Bryant stepped right up and said, we'll take it. And so they'll be going through training, and we'll be bringing that back to Wilson County Schools. We've had that in the past. An interesting thing about that, I think she was a captain, I think that's what her title was, with Highway Patrol, was a graduate of the DARE program in Wilson County Schools. She's coming back to Wilson County, building a home. She was emphatic that she wanted it back in our schools. It'd be no cost to us. Tennessee Highway Patrol will be providing the materials and the training. And so there may be some opportunity later for us to get behind this as a county and do something for our kids that graduate through that program, and I think that's something we need to look at. Also something to mention, our CTE supervisor, Bonnie Holman, Lebanon Special School District and the Wilson Works Council, they've been working for months to prepare for a hands-on show and tell, included virtual experience of a career event for 8th graders. This is going to be held May the 11th, 2023. It'll be at the new Made in Tennessee building at the fairgrounds. I would encourage you, if you get a chance to stop by. We're excited as we're trying to get our 8th graders to see what's available career-wise and help them as they make decisions going into high school for their classes and curriculum. And just an opportunity to motivate them, but also an opportunity to showcase some of the things that can be done for careers right here in Wilson County, so they don't have to leave. Personnel update. We have hired a staff attorney. Lauren Bush came back, left the state, and came back to Wilson County Schools, and she is serving strictly as a staff attorney role. One of the things that I've realized in the first year and a half, as large as our district is, we need every day, multiple times. I have personnel in schools, myself, other supervisors that need that attorney attention on educational matters. She had been with the state, and she gladly accepted, and we're excited to have her back. I've included also high school graduation dates. You can see it's in your packet, times and locations. We start with less than a month. The first one being, I think if I looked at that correct, May 16th, Mid Farm Bureau Expo Center. That's our adult high school and virtual learning academy. It's one of my favorite graduations. It's a great program we do. Already have graduated over 133 of our students. That'll push to a little over 200. It's a really good event. If you want to fight the crowd, I would encourage you to attend because there will be a crowd. But they're just as excited going through that program as our high school graduates. Some of them may be even more appreciative to get that diploma and be a high school graduate. And then you have all the other dates and times that you can see listed below. We have, just to give you an update on another personnel matter, we've had 27 employees, 19 certified and 8 classified, that took our early retirement incentive. And we'll be recognizing them May the 4th to honor our retirees, employees for years of service. That number, I was a little concerned it would be more than that, but you know, something we've got to do a better job telling our story. We still have a lot of happy employees at Wilson County Schools. And so 27, I thought it would be more, but we still have a lot of people that are eligible that are willing to come back and serve our kids for another year. And that experience is invaluable to these people that have earned this right. We want to congratulate them for a job well done. 30 years, some of them 30, some of them 35. Occasionally you'll see that 40, 42. It's a lot of years of getting up and coming serving the youth, and so we appreciate all that they've done. Just to make you aware of, it's a busy time of the year for us, and I guess for you as well. We're in the middle of budget. We have scheduled 2 budget work sessions, May the 2nd at 6 o'clock, May the 4th at 5 o'clock at ACC. Encourage if you want to come and watch and sit in as we go through our budget. We go line item by line item and lay it out for our board members and what we're proposing and whatever expense comes out of that. And then after those 2 work sessions, we're going to have a special call meeting on May the 8th where we'll be voting for the board to approve the budget. That gives us plenty of time to bring to you. I think it's the 22nd, if I remember correctly, we'll be coming up here with education and commission. That is my report, and I'll take any questions if you have them.
Your motion, got a motion to second, now discussion, Commissioner McFarland.
Jeff, that's a good report, and I appreciate the good job you're doing, but I'm sure everybody in this room has probably seen some emails about the books in the library and the schools. That's not an upper to downer for us to even talk about it, but what are you doing concerning books that are less than desirable for kids to read in school, and how's it being controlled?
Thank you, Mr. McFarland, for that question. I had to go back and get a calendar, but one of the first things I encountered when I became the director seemed to be a challenge on curriculum. We opened up our curriculum for the community to see, and then we began to get questions about books. We went ahead and drafted a policy. Everything that I know in my career is you need to try to have a plan. And so we put a policy in place for a review of our library materials. We never had that. And we put that policy in place. Shortly after that, the state would pass a law and adopt a law which pretty much mirrors our policy. So in that, we have selected, it's down to 9. We've had 3 that have resigned off that committee. And we need to look at, it's been a year, almost to date. So we need to look at that and some of the things. We'll do that in committee work. But what it is we allow anyone to appeal, to bring a book up for review. That committee is set by me. There's some librarians on there, there's community members on there, there's some grandparents on there, there's some former teachers on there, and they meet, they read the book, and then they discuss it, and they bring a recommendation to the board. Currently, there's been 13 books, I think I'm correct on that. There's been 13 books brought to review for the board, and they have, for the most part, they went with committee recommendations. And some of those recommendations, what that committee usually recommends is leave as is, restrict, put on an adult or mature reading list where parents have to opt in, and then they do also have the option they could say remove it. So far, that committee has put a lot of books on, recommended put a lot of those books on mature reading. Some of those books have been in place 10, 12, 14 years. So they've been here. We also look, I always look and see, has these books been checked out? Some of these books have never been checked out. And we need to do a better job of our policy. If we're paying for material that's not being used, we need to cipher that off anyway. So it's been a real long year for that committee. Our board has voted to remove 2. I will not get into all the implications. I'm not a lawyer, but I've got 29 years in this business. I have several degrees that deal with school law. This debate has been raised in our country for a long time. It's amazing for me, things that I think wouldn't be good, you may think's okay. There is a First Amendment implication. You have to look at the case law. You have to look at what has been done, what's ongoing now, and I think that our committee has been mindful of that. I think our board has been mindful of that, but they have removed 2 books. The process continues. Under our current policy, they can only take 2 books a month, and we have a list that is building, and at some point we'll have to look at that. There is litigation Bill's been filed today, I think. I'm watching some things going on in the state. That would probably change that a little bit and give you 60 days or you remove them. I would welcome help from the state to clarify. We've been waiting since December 1 from the textbook commission. A lot of things people don't understand. Once it comes to the board, the state law says that then it can go to the textbook commission if you do not like what your local board does. And in that law that was passed, once it goes to that state textbook commission, then they decide. And if they remove it from one school, it would remove it statewide. The law said that we would have guidance on that by December the 1. We don't have guidance yet. My understanding, they've adopted it, but they've not sent it out. But I would encourage people to, that's the process. That's the government process that's been put in place. And I think that's the place to take it. If you don't, so really that board is the first level, the Board of Education. And then it can be moved to the state level and you appeal there. And if then they make a decision statewide. So that's where we're at. That's what we're working through. And but I'm glad to answer that question.
Thank you. I think you've educated a lot of us in here on what this situation is. A lot of emails and just want you to kind of catch us up on what the process was. My own concern is taxpayer money goes to space, stuff like that. You know, somebody wants to go buy one at Barnes and Noble, that's fine, but, you know, thank you.
I completely understand.
Thank you.
See any other questions?
You said curriculum. What about our library books? Do we not have the control to remove books from our library without the state law affecting that?
Well, the state law says you got to go through that process we're going through. Previously, maybe so, but that's where you get into some of the cases. You know, there's a case that everybody quotes called PICO. And I don't mean to take so much time, but I've lived this for a year and a half, okay? Everybody refers to PICO. Mayor Jenny's not here, but PICO, from my belief, is unsettled law. It was a 5-4 polarity decision that got sent back to state court, and it got settled before it went to a trial by jury. But there is some things in PICO that have been referenced into what you can. One of the things that has been said in PICO was that we have a lot of jurisdiction on what we put in the library. But once something becomes in there, public tax dollars becomes funded by, there is less power to remove. That's where you get into your amendments and your First Amendment right to have access to information. I don't think it's settled. I think it will be. I think it's coming. I think we all can see that it's coming, and it's going to move through the process. There's already been some cases. We won't get into that. If you want to talk to them about private, that it's interesting to see how it's been ruled on around the states, and it's going to continue. I predict you'll see it at the Supreme Court.
Would a recommendation from the commission or some resolution help you in any way or help the board if we come out publicly?
I know some commissions have done that. Here's my take, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the state law has given that power, State Board of Education has given that power to the local Board of Education. You're a funding body.
Okay.
I don't see what that does. I think it's going to have to be done in state law, and apparently they're trying to clarify and clean some things up, and then we have to go from there. But I will say, tell you that all around the country where this is an issue, and it is an issue, you're going to see more litigation from all sides.
Yeah.
And we just got to work through and follow that state law, and I feel we're doing that at this time.
Okay.
Commissioner Costa?
Mr. Ludlow, first of all, you and Sheriff Bryan, I appreciate y'all what you're doing, keeping me safe up there too, as well as the kids. You're doing a great job there. On the book deal, I'll just say this, till we get rid of that, you could close every high school library in the county. I don't have to go read about porn. I can watch it right here on my phone. Most of these kids are too lazy to read the books anyway. They're just gonna dial it up right here, buddy. They'll sit in your classroom and watch it. You think they won't? Come to mine. I've called them several times. So that's all I want to say about the books.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Thank you, Director. Register of Deeds report. Ms. Murphy is here tonight, and their packet is has a report in it, so I hear a motion to approve that. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Trustees' report is in your packet as well. Do I hear a motion to approve it? Any discussion there? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Road Superintendent report, Mr. Steve Murphy. Thank you for being here, Miss Murphy, by the way. Miss Murphy.
Mayor, Commissioners, we've started our paving for the calendar year, which we started last week, so we paved 3.8 miles already. We've got our slope mowers still running, which I've got 2 in the shop. It's hard to keep them things together, but we have got our side mounts out mowing, so they're running across the county. So if you get calls, they're working. It just takes them a little while to get around. We're still doing pothole patching throughout the county, so if you've got any, just call the office and we'll try to get on the work order. We're doing our general maintenance. And that concludes my report.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Ag Center report, Mr. Quentin Smith.
Mayor, Commissioners, I know somebody was there today. We did the ribbon cutting on the Tennessee building. There's still some things that's got to be completed in it, but basically it's officially open. We had folks come over, and I know Donna did a couple of contracts today. We're really getting it filled up on the weekends. We've got folks that's rented the old facility that's going to use the building. So I think it's going to be a real hit. If you hadn't come and seen it, you need to come out and see it. It's a real showcase. Might mention to you that we got Whipping Crackin' Rodeo this weekend. The next weekend we got the mule sale. We go back then to Little Britches Rodeo. So we're pretty much full, basically 7 days a week. We got people that rent the buildings. We just got through with the monster trucks this weekend. So we're really busy. We ain't already got I don't think we got a weekend open now in 23 till in December. And that's pretty good record. I welcome all of you. Any of you that hadn't seen the Tennessee building, come out. Give me a call and I'll carry you in and let you see it, because it's probably going to look as good right now as it'll ever look. So if anybody got any questions for me?
Your motion to approve the report? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, Mr. Quentin.
No.
Expo Center report, Ms. Gail Hibbert.
Good evening, everybody. You have my report in your packet, and I gave you guys an update when I came in. So we closed out March just over $37,000 in profit, which was very exciting. It was a very, very, very good month. April is typically a little slower, so don't expect that in April because it's probably not going to be there. But I did want to point that out, and I also wanted to point out for our food and beverage preferred providers and our event services, I don't think everybody realizes how much money that actually brings into us. If you look at that report that you have in front of you, March alone, it brought in over $13,000. Average, it's somewhere between 7 and 10. So you take that by times 12, it's a significant portion of what we bring in. And it's a very strong program. So I wanted you to know that because we've never really talked about that. I also gave you, Philip did this for me, it's a pie chart. I wanted to give you some comparison. So what you're looking at there is showing you that Wilson County, as a whole, various organizations in the county, represents about 49% of the number of events. Not square footage and not revenue, but number. If you look at how much Wilson County brings in revenue and square footage, it's about 11%. So that just tells you that the events that come in from Wilson County are usually the smaller events, which makes sense. And then Tennessee, as a whole for the state, it's pretty much par. They're kind of 42 to 47%, 49%, whether it's the number of events or it's the revenue. So they're kind of smack dab in the middle. And then nationally, they only bring in around 18% in terms of the number of events, but when they come in, they bring a lot of money. It's a lot of outside money, and that's hotel, motel, and that's also money that they spend in the county while they're here, because they're usually multi-day events. And that also accounts for 47% of our square footage and our revenue. So it's an interesting comparison to kind of see what we're doing and where the money's coming from. And obviously, the more that we bring in from out of town, the more money we make across the county, which is one of my favorites. On the back of your report, you have a list of April through July of what we have. Might want to draw your attention. I brought in a brand new event, which they ended up also renting from Quentin, the entire grounds behind us. And that is going to be the ICC event. Don't ask me what ICCC means, but I can tell you it's everything Star Wars. I can tell you that. There's going to be concerts and celebrities and all kinds of stuff. So if you or anybody you know or kids are into Star Wars, you're going to want to check this out. It's going to be a huge event. He had over 6,000 people in Nashville last year, and he's expecting more than that this year. So, and if you go to their website, it's iccc.com, I believe. But that's just a brand new one that I'm really excited to see happen. And it's a great opportunity for both the ag side and the expo side to kind of work together to produce the event. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Do you hear a motion to approve the report?
Motion to move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Gill.
Thank you.
Report to Public Works Committee, Commissioner Weathers.
Mr. Chairman, the Public Works Committee met today at 6 p.m. in the committee room. The minutes will be in the next month's packet. Move this report be received and filed.
Here a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ag Center Manager Report, Commissioner Scruggs.
Ag Center Management met March the 8th.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion now. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Animal Control, Commissioner Breeze.
Animal Control met on April 11th at 5 p.m. in the conference room. The minutes are on your desk. I move that they be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Audit, Commissioner Glover.
Audit Committee met on March 21st at 5 p.m. upstairs in the conference room. We went over our past audit. Also had representatives from the state, Auditor Freeman Pride and Auditor Sherry Gill, along with many other people. Just want to say again how proud we are of our finance department of having such a good audit this year. It'll be received and filed.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Broadband access, Commissioner Franklin.
No report.
Development Tourism, Commissioner Brown.
No report.
Ethics, Commissioner Rich. No report.
No report, excuse me.
Sorry to spring that one on you. Finance, Commissioner Costley.
No report.
Health and Recreation, Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our committee met on April the 6th, 2023 at 5 p.m. in the upstairs conference room. I make a motion that our minutes be approved and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Insurance, Commissioner McFarland.
No report.
Judicial, Commissioner Gentry.
The Judicial Committee met on March 27th in the upstairs conference room. Make a motion the minutes be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Planning and Zoning, Commissioner McFarland.
Planning and Zoning.
And I guess it's already been approved with a joint meeting. We can read it again if you want to.
No, it's not necessary. I'm just going to say we had a joint meeting with law enforcement, March 23rd at 5 p.m. Move the be received and filed.
Thank you. Rules, Commissioner Keith.
No report.
Urban Type Facility Board, Commissioner Scruggs.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Finance Director's report, Mr. Aaron Maynard.
I don't have much for you tonight. Finance report's in your packet. I feel like I'd be telling you the same thing I've been telling you for a few months. You're sitting where you should be sitting at this point in the year. If anything, you're a little ahead. Of course, this is the time now, those property taxes have been collected, so we're gonna start the next several months seeing the outflows exceeding the inflows. But I think we're in excellent shape overall. And I really don't have anything to add unless you have any questions for me.
Do your motion to approve? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Report from Budget Committee, Commissioner Marlowe.
Budget Committee met on regular session Thursday, April the 6th. Minutes are in your packet. Move they be received and filed.
You got a motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. I would like to welcome our Leadership Wilson group. After I realized we got a standing ovation for Ms. Hibbett, I understood where we were at. So thank y'all for being here tonight. Commissioner Marlowe.
Before I get started, I do want to say a big thank you to our SRO program in Wilson County. I've been around long enough to know how that affected our schools. As principal at West Wilson Middle School years ago, my SRO officer was Officer David Bennett, and I got a note from a kid that said there's a gun in such and such room, and so David and I went down there and we calmly pulled the kid out and told him, bring your backpack with you, and we just kind of slowly walked down to my office, and he emptied his backpack on my desk, and inside that backpack was a loaded .32 automatic. And I have to say, I'm very happy that David Bennett was there with me, because I didn't, it was a shock, and he and I looked at each other with big, large eyes for a while, but I was sure proud to have an SRO officer there with me right then. Resolution 23-4-4, resolution authorizing Wilson County to join the state of Tennessee and other local governments in amending the Tennessee State Subdivision Opioid Abatement Agreement.
Got a motion to hear second. Any discussion before we vote? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Mr. McFarland? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 22 and 3, resolution passes.
Resolution 23-4-4, to reflect revenues received but not included in their original budget, and to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an additional appropriation into Sheriff's Department. What I say? Oh, I'm sorry.
23-4-5, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion.
And a second? Are you ready? Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 22 yes, 3 absent. Resolution passes.
Resolution 23-4-6, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for line item transfer in Health Department.
Motion.
Got a motion and a second. Commissioner McFarland?
I was just gonna ask for an order with the county attorney. All the resolutions have a sponsor on them, but, and they've gone through committee, but it doesn't, who's the sponsor?
I don't ever put it on there, the rules say if it's approved by committee, then you have to have a sponsor. Thank you.
Any other questions? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with you both? Please record. 22 yes, 3 absent. Resolution passes.
Resolution 23-4-7 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from general fund for increased cost of communications.
Motion to approve.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with you vote? Please record. 22 yes, 3 absent. Resolution passes.
Resolution 23-4-8 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution by approving Wilson County Board of Education Budget Amendment 23-10.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Rich? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 22 yes, 3 absent. Resolution passes.
Resolution 23-4-9 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution by approving Wilson County Board of Education Budget Amendment 23-11.
I got a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Keith? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 22 yes, 3 absent. Resolution passes.
Resolution 23-4-10 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from general fund to juvenile services and probations.
There a motion?
Motion to approve.
There a second?
Second.
In discussion now, Commissioner Breeze?
Well, I'm really supportive of the need. I think we need to follow process here. This is the second time that this department's come to us in April for an additional position, so they're not following the needs process. I've had 2 department heads since budget come to me and say that if this is how things work, maybe they'll start bringing stuff to us in March and April instead of going through the needs process. So I know that we're going to have additional requests from other departments. I know we already have had requests from personnel for other departments as well. So I think this should be on the needs list and not heard this evening. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to move this request to the juvenile services needs list to be decided with all the other needs through the budget process.
I'll make a second to that.
I got a motion and a second.
And,
Okay, I want a motion to dismiss one. Are you deferring it, or are you,
I guess that I want to defer it onto the needs list.
she wants to pass it on the needs list?
Does that make sense? Right. So I'd like to pull this and defer it to the needs list.
Commissioner Marlowe?
Okay, you know, I'm really in favor of the committee process that we have here in Wilson County government. It is a wonderful job. This went through 2 committees and passed unanimously in both committees. Nothing has changed in the last 2 weeks to make enough difference to want to do this now. This is not the first time this has occurred this year with other departments. Therefore, I don't understand why we're wanting to do this now. If the committee system is not working properly, maybe we ought to discuss that, but I think it is. And I'm not in favor of doing anything different than what this resolution calls for at this point in time.
Hang on one second, I'm gonna come to you. Your motion was to, I think, give me some more clarity on your motion.
I want to move this to the needs list for juvenile services instead of hearing it for this evening. To actually take the
They wanna
additional
add a person-
position.
They want to add a person now.
They-
She's
Yeah,
asking.
right.
I'm trying to understand her motion. It just needs to go back to the
I made the,
It's not what I want to do.
I'm on judicial. I made the original motion to push it forward after a lot of conversation. I was really hesitant at the time. And after additional feedback, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying here. So I made the original motion. I talked significantly at the committee about the fact that I didn't like the precedent this set.
So, Lauren, I
So
think,
what I'm saying is I see the need. I just don't think we should hear it this evening. I think it should be on the needs list through the budget process.
so your process would be this, you want to refer it back to committee. I would need a second for that and 13 people to do that, and that's where we would go. If that failed, then we'd come back and vote on the motion that's on the floor, okay?
We could do that.
All right.
Okay.
So I got a motion to defer back to committee. Do I hear a second on that?
Second.
I got a second on that, so I'm good there. Now I'm gonna go to discussion. Commissioner Gentry?
I agree with Lauren. I think it should go back to the committee.
Okay. Commissioner Breeze has already been talked to. Commissioner Chandler?
Yeah, I'm in line with Mr. Marlowe, that it went through a committee process. We spoke in depth about it. We had Juvenile Services speak in depth about it, of the need, on why they needed it now. And this is about our kids. Youth Services does an amazing job. They're overloaded. Youth crime continues to rise, and I think it wouldn't be very positive of us as a board to vote this down tonight after we heard their arguments on two committees, and here we are, sitting as a board to vote on this. And I think our kids are very important.
Commissioner Cosley?
I'm confused. It came through both committees on 5-0 vote, but also, like Commissioner Chandler's talking about, it's a need that apparently arose in an untimely manner. Is that correct? Somebody retiring, something like that happened? We need to fill the position? Is that what I'm?
It's not I can let the,
No.
if you want to
Yeah.
speak to the, how it came up since you made the motion.
Absolutely. So they do have somebody retiring, but that person is retiring on December 31st. So at that point, I'm not understanding the urgency. And I did bring this up at judicial as to why we can't do this along through the needs process. So again, my concern is not the need. It's the fact that we're starting to set a precedent, and we have other department heads that are then looking at this saying, okay, well, if that department doesn't have to follow the process and can get needs fulfilled in April, then maybe that's what they start doing. So that's my concern. It's not the need itself. In fact, I'm really hoping that this actually is fulfilled as we go through the needs process through budget. It's not that I don't see the need. It's the timing of it all and the precedent we're setting through the rest of the county and the other county departments.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones?
I know that we don't need to set a precedent doing this, but sometimes things are just in need. Like Judge Tatum told us the other night, we need to be proactive, not reactive. And if the judge is back there, I'd like to ask him to speak for just a second about whether we need this or not. Right now.
I can call him. Judge, if you would like to speak to it in the back, you can.
Point of order, we need to go out of session.
I think I can call anybody to speak.
Okay.
No, sir. Don't get a question.
Yeah.
I hope you can hear me. Do I need to be at a microphone?
You can come to the microphone in the back here.
Pardon?
You can come to the microphone in the back. Thank you.
This is, I appreciate the difficult position it's put you in, Commissioner Breeze. That was one of the concerns that I had, is I understand that we have a process and it does need to work. But at the very least, it's such a need that I feel like our committees, Judiciary and Budget, need to hear that we do have a need. Not that it's more valid than anyone else's, but it is something that we can put to work in right away. And it's a decision that falls on me not to try to circumvent the process. Certainly I don't want to do that. not trying to do that. But at the very least, it gives us an opportunity, and I appreciate the words that we're hearing here, that it is a legitimate need. We're trying to do some work. We're trying to be proactive. And just like Director Luttrell was saying a few minutes ago, that we have an issue in our community where there is a gap to serve our kids and to try to inspire the kids that we have. And I would like to grow the juvenile services programs, not where we're responding to problems, but where hopefully we're heading them off, like the DARE program, like the School Resource Officer program. And it has to start somewhere. It has to start with one position. But certainly, you know, I'm at the mercy of the committee here, of the commission. And we had these discussions at the, certainly at the Judiciary Committee meeting, and it was a concern. And, but I have enough respect for each one of you to appreciate your vote and your position on this, and I would like to ask for it to be passed.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fields?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I was at the committee meeting as well, hearing all the arguments for pro and con, and I concur with Commissioners Marlowe, Chandler, Jones, Judge Tatum, that you know, sometimes whenever we were elected this office, we weren't just elected to represent our own district. We were represented for the entire county and doing the best for the entire county. And I think in this situation, we need to go ahead and approve this budget request.
Commissioner Denton?
My understanding was that the reason that we wanted to go ahead and do it now was that for training purposes, because the retiree was going to be leaving in December. We're only 2 months away from budget process and or approval of the budget. So I agree with Lauren. I think if we set a precedent here, we will pay for it. I'm for this. I'm not against it at all. The judge has got, he spoke that night for it, and I agree with everything he said. I'm before it. But on 2 months away doesn't seem like would matter in the training of that individual, if I'm right on that.
You are correct. Commissioner Rich?
With Mr. Vandiver retiring in December, I think it's pretty important that we get somebody in that position that can go ahead and train underneath this person. We've all probably worked jobs before and moved up to a position, and with very minimal training, it becomes very hard for that person. On top of that, the training that is needed for this position is my understanding that this division has not had an additional person added in 15 years. I would say that there's not another department in state or in county government right now that has not had addition in 15 years. I think they are in bad need of it. We're having more problems within the county, and our goal is to keep our juveniles safe. And as Mr. Chandler mentioned in committee, you know, we're at the point now where we're seeing a lot of trouble coming in from Nashville. They may not live here, but we are having to deal with that situation. I think they are in bad need of help, and I think that we definitely need to get somebody in and get them trained up. And I want to give them as much help as we can give them.
Call for the question.
Commissioner Hall?
Hold on. I have something.
I know, I got Commissioner Hall next.
You'll have to excuse me because I'm just now putting my thoughts together on it, but I keep hearing a lot about setting precedent, but we're the ones that make a decision every month, so we don't have to do anything we don't want to do as a body. And so if we vote yes for this month, I mean, that doesn't mean we're bound to do anything for anybody any other month. And so I feel like that if we're going to do this is our decision. You get to vote your own conscience, and that's what I encourage you to do, and I'm going to vote yes.
Commissioner Breeze?
After hearing everyone, and hopefully you've heard me and my concerns, I'm going to withdraw my motion. And we'll move forward, but I want to make sure that all the county departments that have spoken to me since the budget meeting, understand that I heard you, and hopefully this body heard you, that we do have a process. And in this situation, I guess it sounds like the body is saying this is extenuating circumstances. So thank you for entertaining the possibility of the motion and listening. And I agree. I believe this is a needed position. I just am very uncomfortable with the precedent.
Question has been called for, and so we are ready to vote. We're going to vote for the motion as it is. She withdrew her motion, so we're back on the regular motion as it stands to add the person. I hesitate to even do this, but just to add clarity to where that's coming from, anytime you approved another position or funds that come from the general fund during the year, that goes towards the status quo budget for next year. It's an automatic add. Within 2 months of that, then that comes, of course, out of the growth money. So that growth money that you normally grant needs from, this automatic makes that one a win. If you think that's needs to be done today, then that's what you're voting on. We got that. But that's the part of the precedent part, that we got so much money to deal with, and then every time we add something during the year, it just takes away from that. You make the call, I don't make the call on that, but that was the concern, and I think that's what she was trying to say. We are ready to vote. We've had plenty of discussion, so you're going to vote on the motion as Mr. Marlowe said it. The amendment was pulled, so please vote now. Commissioner Scruggs, all hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record.
20 yes, 2 no, 3 absent.
20 yes, 2 no, 3 absent. Resolution passes.
Okay, we have 3 more resolutions that were not in the packet, so we'll have to go out of session.
Motion.
Have a motion here, a second to go out of session. All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Here we go.
Resolution 23-4-11, to establish the speed limit on East and West Old Murfreesboro Road at 35 miles an hour.
Move approved.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye. Resolution 23-4-12, to establish the speed limit on Noreen Road at 35 miles per hour.
Second. I got a motion and a second. I do have a list of 25 names that has to be taken care of when somebody wants a road zone changed. And so I have that just in case anybody wanted to see that or whatever. I have that with me. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And 13.
Resolution 23-4-13, requiring public speed limit change request to acquire 25 signatures from residents of the road for speed limit change request to be heard by the road commission.
Second.
Any discussion on that, Commissioner Hall?
What's the change that we're making on this amendment or this resolution here? Because that's what we've been doing. Is that correct?
We haven't been doing it before, asking people to have 25 names. It was passed by the road commission. Now we're just getting the county commission to have full buy-in on that.
Okay.
But is that good?
Yeah, I was just making sure we weren't making any specific change or anything.
No, sir. Commissioner Bernard?
I know we had added about the stop signs too. Like four-way stops or anything, that they need to have their signature. I think we need to put that.
Mr. Murphy, we didn't have that on there. Is that correct? You're shaking your head no? This is just speed limit only. Yep, speed limit only, and if you want to do something more, you need to bring that back if that's good with everybody. Commissioner Glover?
I just want to say that tonight has been probably the best since I've been on the commission as far as everything working. I don't know if y'all have been working on it, but everything's been smooth, the lights has been working, and I just want to say thank you.
You're more than welcome. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Thank you, Mr. Marlowe. Any old business to come before this body? I'm sorry, let's go back in session. Here a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. We're back in session. Any old business? Commissioner McFarland?
I'm sorry, it's new business.
New business? Commissioner McFarland?
Yes, sir. The planning and zoning, planning commission and planning and zoning and the BOZA board had a training class that Mr. Bashir paid for the meal out of his pocket, and I don't think that's right. And I think that we need to do a force vote that a line be put in his budget with like $500 in it for any type of classes he has to teach where something like that expenditure has to be made. And I'd like to put that in form of a motion, please. You're not understanding me. You look at me.
I do appreciate the motion. I don't know if we can we do that? Because what he's asking for a line item to be put in his budget, but it's also a rule that we cannot spend money on food. I know that is in our booklet or somewhere, or it's in some rule that we've had. Finance committee set that policy, our finance committee policy that says we cannot buy food. So this probably needs to go to committee.
Move us into finance.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Anything else to come before the body tonight? If not, I need a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.